Love this topic. Our just since Americans love this day wartime gardening wisdom is some of the most practical, no-nonsense growing advice ever recorded. Let's dig into it. During World War II, food wasn't just grown by farmers, it was grown by families, neighbors, schools, and entire communities. These were the years of victory gardens, when ordinary people were producing up to 40% of their own food in backyards and empty lots. There were no shiny fertilizer bags, no miracle liquids, and no expensive soil boosters. What people did have was resourcefulness, and the soil methods they relied on still outperform many modern products today. Here on Rootshaven Grounds, we're all about growing smarter, not spending more. These 6 soil secrets powered wartime gardens through rationing, shortages, and hard times, and they can transform your garden too. 1. Trench composting, feeding soil without a compost bin. During the war, metal, rubber, and manufactured goods were rationed. That meant no fancy compost bins. Gardeners used what they had, and one of the most powerful methods was trench composting. Instead of piling scraps, they dug a trench right in the garden, filled it with kitchen waste like vegetable peels, coffee grounds, eggshells, and plant trimmings, then covered it with soil. Over weeks, microbes and earthworms broke everything down directly where plants would later grow. This method feeds the soil from below, building rich humus exactly where roots need it. It improves moisture retention, boosts microbial life, and reduces waste hauling. Modern gardeners often overlook this because it's not packaged and sold, but it's one of the easiest ways to create living soil with zero cost. The key is depth. Bury scraps at least 20 to 30 centimeters deep to avoid pests and smells. Rotate trenches through your beds, and you'll create a continuous underground compost system. Back in the 1940s, with coal and wood stoves being so common, wood ash was actually a regular soil amendment for a lot of gardeners. Folks knew that ash wasn't just waste, it was packed with potassium, calcium, and trace minerals that are, well, pretty essential for plant health. Ash was especially valued for root crops like carrots, beets, and potatoes, since those really need potassium for strong development. People would also dust a little ash on the soil before rain, letting the nutrients wash in naturally. But here's the key. Restraint. Wood ash is alkaline, so using too much can raise your soil's pH more than you want. Wartime gardeners were careful, using it sparingly, often mixing it into compost, or spreading just a thin layer over a big area, not dumping piles in one spot. These days, a lot of folks just throw their ash away or avoid it entirely. But if you use it wisely, it's honestly a free mineral boost straight from your cooking fire or fireplace. Now, this one might surprise you, but during World War II, diluted human urine was actually recommended in government gardening pamphlets. Why? Well, because it's rich in nitrogen, potassium, and phosphorus. Those are the same core nutrients you'll find in commercial fertilizers. Gardeners would dilute it with water, usually about 1 part urine to 10 parts water, and apply it to the soil, not the leaves. This gave a quick nitrogen boost for leafy crops like cabbage, spinach, and lettuce, especially during those key growth periods. It was safe, effective, and totally free. Soil microbes would convert the nutrients into forms plants could use in no time. The practice mostly faded because, well, people just got uncomfortable talking about it, not because it stopped working. If you ever use it, make sure to apply it to the soil well before harvest, and definitely not on crops you'll eat raw right away. Oh, and for compost piles, it's a powerful nitrogen activator that really speeds up decomposition. Honestly, corporations can't sell what people are uncomfortable mentioning, but nature, well, nature doesn't care about taboos. With chemical fertilizers hard to come by, wartime growers leaned heavily on green manure crops. That's plants grown not for eating, but just to feed the soil. Fast-growing things like clover, field peas, vetch, and mustard would be sown in empty beds. Before they flowered, folks would chop them down and dig them right back into the soil. These plants captured nutrients, protected the soil from erosion, and if they were legumes, they'd even fix nitrogen from the air into the ground. This method builds up organic matter, improves soil structure, boosts microbial life, and helps the soil hold onto moisture better. It's a slow-release kind of fertility that lasts for seasons, not just a few weeks. Nowadays, a lot of gardeners leave beds bare between crops. but WWII growers knew that bare soil was just a wasted opportunity. Every open space was planted with something that would give back to the earth. Leaf mold. Now, that's the forgotten soil conditioner. You know, fallen leaves weren't trash, they were treasure. Gardeners would pile them up in corners, trenches, or wire enclosures and just let them break down into leaf mold, which is this dark, crumbly material that really improves soil texture, like nothing else. Sure, leaf mold doesn't add a ton of heavy nutrients, but it dramatically improves water retention in sandy soils and drainage in clay soils. It creates this sponge-like structure that supports all those beneficial fungi and microorganisms. Back in wartime, gardeners often used leaf mold as mulch around vegetables to conserve moisture, especially during dry spells when watering was, well, pretty limited. It helped reduce evaporation and slowly fed the soil underneath. Today we tend to bag up leaves and haul them away, but back then, every leaf was future soil. Let's talk about deep digging and double digging for root health. Before we had those fancy mechanized tillers, gardeners used spades to double dig their beds, loosening soil 2 layers deep. This broke up compaction, improved drainage, and let roots grow deeper and stronger. Deep soil prep was especially important when fertilizer supplies were low. Healthy roots could search farther for nutrients and water, which meant stronger, more resilient plants, even in poor conditions. Double digging also allowed compost, trench scraps, and organic matter to be buried deeply, where soil life could process it slowly over time. The result? Rich, living soil that just kept getting better every year instead of wearing out. It does take effort, no doubt, but it's a one-time investment that can totally transform hard, lifeless ground into productive growing space. So, why do these methods still matter today? None of these soil-building techniques rely on a store, a brand, or a product label. They rely on biology, recycling, and just working with nature. During World War II, people didn't garden this way because it was trendy. They did it because it actually worked. Modern gardening often focuses on quick fixes, but wartime gardening focused on soil health first, knowing that healthy soil grows healthy food with fewer inputs. These methods build structure, increase microbial life, improve nutrient cycling, and create resilience against drought and pests. They turn waste into fertility and make gardens more self-sufficient. And honestly, that's why they've quietly lasted for over 80 years. Now, bringing World War II soil wisdom into your own garden doesn't mean you have to adopt everything at once. Just start small. Maybe bury kitchen scraps in one bed. Save some leaves this season. Try a green manure crop after harvest. Sprinkle a little wood ash in your compost. Or, improve one bed deeply instead of lightly fertilizing 10. Soil improvement is cumulative. Every season you feed the soil feeds your plants back even better. That's the real secret. And one now and my that she I stone action and so now it's sun and day waj or no my she that small company can package. Gardening isn't about buying more, it's about understanding more. If you love practical, old-school growing wisdom that actually works, you're in the right place. Subscribe to Rootshaven Grounds, share this with a fellow gardener, and let's keep bringing powerful, forgotten growing knowledge back to life. One healthy garden at a time.